While we have ability to create our own graphical image using the shapes and icons, sometimes it's better to simply insert an image that have been created for us, say by graphic artists. So in this movie we are going to replace the one we drew earlier in the bottom of page 2 or in our foot area with one that's been provided us to on our document. We will start down here at the bottom of the page 2 by double clicking the foot area. Now we will select our shape that we draw by moving the mouse pointer to one of the edge. When you see a four-sided arrow, click one to select it and hit your delete key on the keyboard and it's gone. Now click anywhere down below the page numbering so it's not selected, and instead we'll insert an image. Click insert. From here we are going to go to pictures. Clicking pictures allows you to navigate the location where you will find the graphic image. Check out down below all the different formats that you can use: WMF, JPEGs, different type of JPEGs, GIFs, BMPs, etc. With all pictures selected, we see all different formats of pictures, including the one that we want. This way to wellness graphic, it's a PNG file. Give it a click, and when we go to insert it, it will be inserted into its original size, and it will be anchored to our cursor like any other text we might type. So go ahead and click insert. Let's see what happens. Yeah, that's way too big. It's created a very large footer section at the bottom of our document, and you will notice that it's on the left side where our cursor was flashing. The first step is to make this smaller. Let's scroll down a little bit to the bottom right corner by going to one of these handles to size it. You can see the double arrow up here. I like to go to the corner because then I can adjust the height and width in the same time and maintain proportions. So click and drag up the inwards. You can see it getting smaller and smaller. You may have to let it go and do it again until you get it down to your size you are looking for. We can go to fairly small, maybe even smaller than that. That's good size right there. You can see the foot area shrinks down to accommodate. The other thing we want to do is to put it over on the right, because the cursor flashing over here and its default, it's being treated like any other character you type in line with other text. We need to change how text wraps around, so we can go right to this little layout options icon. Click to see that sure enough the line in with text is selected. Instead we might want to text to wrap around it nice and tight, or go right through it. Lots of different options here to choose from. We are going to go with through. Give it a click and suddenly text is able to go right through it. Look at the size now of our foot area. So we can go to close this up, and that means we can go right inside our four-sided arrow, start moving it around. We can even size it down a little bit more if we needed to. Scroll down. I think there's a good spot for it right about there. And when we are done, all we have to do is double click anywhere in our document to close that up and see that looks much better. And because it's a foot area, we know it's going to be repeated in other pages. Okay, so that's just graphical image as we created. What about photos? Let's go up to the top of our document here on the page 1. Let's say we want to put a photo right in between those two images, right between these two headings. Well, we need to create a space because remember our graphics gonna be treated like text, in line with text. So by clicking off the period here in our heading after and pressing return to, we created that line for our image. It's the same process. We will click insert pictures. That's the JPEG. You can see the dimensions. Give it a click insert and see what happens. Now it's a in line with text, and in this case it works out nicely. It's the right size. It goes from margin to margin and pushes everything else down, which means we can click in the background to see what this really looks like. No works to be done. And another way we can get things lined up is put them in table. Let's scroll down to our table, which is kind of moving around now. As we add things to our document, we will click the first cell in the second row. Here that's empty and add a graphic image, and its insert picture. This time let's start with the protein. It's a PNG file. Click it and click insert. Gets insert the original size, but we can size that down until that row goes back to the height that it was when we started. We can also go to table tools like the layout tab up here. Make sure that's centered vertically and horizontally inside the cell, like so. Okay, let's repeat the process to other empty cells. Insert pictures. This time go with the vegetables. Insert. Again, it's way too big, so we go to the sizing handle until we get the row back where it was. That's the maximum height we can go to. Click the layout tab and get selected vertically and horizontally. One more to go. Down at the very bottom left corner of the table, we will repeat the process. This time it's grains PNG file going in. But when we size it back down where it belongs, the release goes back to the first page. We'll go to the layout tab in center it and then click in background to deselect. That looks much better. So inserting graphical elements could be image created, could be photos for example, can really add visual interesting and make your document more interesting to those reading it. Of course, there are a number of tools to help you with making adjustments to those images. That's we are going to explore in the next movie.